how were you able to remove those labels from your life and be your authentic self and live life on your own terms?
How was I able to remove the labels? What a great question. You know, the first thing that even came up as soon as you said that reminded me of a session today with a client, and that was really around discipline and consistency. That's how I was able to remove those particular labels, because it's the recognition that I was constrained by those labels. That's what I lived by. And when I decided no more, I'm not going to live by these labels, whilst I can experience something, but I'm not going to associate and connect with it. I made that decision to shift that, and then to have a focus and to have consistency and discipline, and in areas that were going to empower me and support me, not those things that were going to put me in a box.
Wow, beautiful. And how did you realize that discipline and the consistency are the keys to becoming my authentic and greater self? How did you actually had that realization?
Yeah, what a great question. So a little bit of context. By the time I was 14, I'd seen 8 different psychologists, right? And I had massive trust issues. When I was a teen, I had massive trust issues, and I didn't have the right sense of safety and rapport with a certain psychologist that I had seen at that age. Right. So I didn't take on any feedback from any of the people that I'd spoken to. I wouldn't even open up. And there was actually a man who was actually a priest, who I ended up working with for about 18 months. And it was through working with him that he helped me to really build up these small disciplines and consistencies, and help me to really essentially recreate who I was and the story that I was telling myself, and doing the tiniest things like, you know, not having sugar in my tea. Now, if you take a step back and look at that, it's like, well, how does not putting sugar in your tea change your life? But what it did for me is it taught me to have discipline in the small things. And as I look back now, Anshu, it's like, wow, he told me, Chrissy, when you can have discipline in the small things, you can have discipline in the big things. When you can have discipline in the small things, which is where you're putting your focus, thinking about certain things. I was going through a phase where I was thinking about things that were hurting me, like, you know, events that had happened previously when I was much younger, and I was reliving those events. And it was like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. So if I can learn to have discipline around even my focus and my mindset and what I would think about on a consistency, that's how I built it up. So it was with his guidance and support that I was able to implement that.